But now let me welcome Dharmesh Kant, the Head of Retail Research from IndiaNivesh to the show. Dharmesh, good morning. And first up, let's talk about a couple of mid-cap results that should have come out. One is HDFC AMC, some strong margin expansion. Yes, there was another income element, but still, core operating margin expansion was also very good. So how do you look at that stock? And second, again, when we look in terms of how the Kotak Bank has done, with respect to uncertainty, what we have been looking in terms of stake dilution, and the stock has been underperforming in the last 2 months, how investors should be looking at both of the stocks now?
Yeah, good morning. The financials have been reporting, pretty good set of numbers, barring the Union Bank numbers which came yesterday. So be it L&T Finance or SDFC, AMC and the others in the line, the numbers which have come is pretty encouraging because the top line growth is in around 15 to 20% kind of a growth is there. At the same time, we are seeing operating margins getting improved and asset quality is more or less arrested. Coming to SDFC AMC business, see, going forward, all these businesses will see margin expansion because as more and more technology takes place, so turnover per employee it increases to a significant level, and that leads to a margin expansion. So this would be the trend, and less and less amount of human intervention will be there. Because online portals saves quite a good lot of cost on all these AMC companies. Earlier it was a significant cost when you used to give on incentives and all. So, but that is there, and these businesses are not bought for trading perspective or a day or month perspective. You have to buy them and keep them at least for 3 to 5 years to have 2x, 3x kind of a return, which I see happening in this business. So it's a clear-cut buy. As far as Kotak Bank is concerned, numbers were pretty decent. 18-20% kind of a revenue growth was there, and profitability was decent enough. At the same time, asset quality, there was no major concerns out there. The overhang of this dilution of the promoter stake is what is keeping the stock price suppressed. I think any correction in the stock price just based on this dilution should be lapped up by the investors, and I see at least by the time we end 2019, Kotak Bank should be running at least 20-25% from the current levels because the numbers and the potential which is coming for all the private sector banks are huge, and Kotak is the leader in cashing those opportunities. So it's a strong buy, and any correction because of all these events happening out should be used as a buying opportunity.
Right, that's the word from Dharmesh. But bring Questcorp on the screen. The rates are settled down in the pre-open, and the stock actually showing some strong uptick here. Let's look at the chart of the Questcorp here. That's Questcorp for you. Volumes could be lower, but where the rates are settled, it's a 10% uptick which could be coming for Questcorp here. Let's take a view from Dharmesh here. Dharmesh, staffing, any sort of view there? Questcorp seems to be showing some 10% uptick. Anything which you like around staffing or around the sort of business of Questcorp?
See, if you look into the genesis of Questcorp, it has always been inorganic growth. They have been, Prem Vatsa is the promoter of the company, and he has tons and tons of cash lying. And what they do is just acquire a staffing company which is a small or a mid-size, and that is the way the expansion has been happening. But if you look at the valuation multiples, it's a very, very high valuation multiples which they are running at, and there has to be an inflection point where these will normalize. They will come to the law of averages. Margin wise, these are low margin businesses, and though Questcorp is into a high end kind of a staffing rather than just pure low end staffing or done by a team lead, so there's a distinction between the two companies. But to my mind, I think if you are invested, stay invested, but first investment should not be made just on the valuation concern. And I do think there's a limit to inorganic expansion, and rich valuations getting being rewarded consistently. So from here on, if you take a 3 years time frame, I don't see any meaningful upside, maybe 20-30%, but that is too low for a 3 years time frame to be invested into equity stock. So if you are holding, hold it, but no fresh investment is advised here.
Right, that's the word coming from Dharmesh. That's Questcorp. Again, 10% up, and that could be another breaking stock. Again, we told you about Prabhat Dairy. This again is another stock. Bring Ashok Leland again on the screen. Let's see again how Ashok Leyland actually is shaping up in the trade. Now, again, what actually should be a sort of good stock to watch out for is almost 1.5%. The volumes are looking very strong. Again, that's Ashok Leyland for you. Again, we are going to actually wait for the market cues again once to see how the stock shapes up. But that's the first word, and I'll bring Sun Pharma also once again before we take a quick technical view here. So again, Sun Pharma basically is showing 3% uptake. Very quickly coming, Jay, word on Sun Pharma or Spark, if there is any trade which can be done.
See, Sun Pharma, there is a potential, I highlighted yesterday too, that it's likely to reverse from current levels. But if you are you can hold on to slightly longer terms. 370 was an important level, and it's actually saw a spike low towards those levels, and it's turning where you've probably seen a selling exhaustion, and it has potential to rally from current levels.
Couple of other stocks, I don't know whether we've talked about these already. I want to pull up IDBI. The bank has approved in principle a proposal to initiate divestment process of IDBI's stake in IDBI Federal Life Insurance. Jay, now this counter has done a one-way move from levels of 64 to 56, I think is where it closed out yesterday at. This morning it's looking soft as well. Do you think this fundamental news trigger could help the counter reclaim 60 rupees? Because, I mean, it's been really on the sell side for quite some time now, and there are short targets of 48 during the rounds.
Yeah, see, it's stuck in an important, it's a very long-term range of 65 to 45, and that range is not breaking out. In fact, a few sessions ago, in fact, a couple of weeks back, I thought the range was actually breaking out, but it is not breaking out. But if it manages to close back above 61, so to be more precise, it's 60.9. If it manages to close back above those levels, then we'll be willing to take some positions in cash. But once it crosses 66, I will be ultra bullish on it and expect to touch 90. But this range of 45 to 65 needs to get broken.
Rahul, what are you doing with Tata Elxsi and Mindtree? Both those counters were the only ones that sold off quite sharply in the last 1 hour of trade. So Tata Elxsi went up to 985 and then it did a U-turn, closed the day out at 962, and Mindtree did a very similar sort of move. Do you see an opportunity here? Because maybe we are ahead of the curve on Tata Elxsi. We've got 30 seconds. We'll quickly take a view on one of those counters and move on.
Yeah, if you look at Tata Elxsi, it has been forming a triangular formation after a very sharp correction. Yesterday was an inverted hammer, which is an indication of a trend reversal kind of pattern forming on the daily charts. But definitely we could see some sort of consolidation at these levels. But looking at the setup, I feel that in the coming days, we could see a bounce back from the current levels. Hence, positional traders can buy Tata Elxsi between the range of 963 to 950. Stop loss should be placed below 940, and on the upside.
Rahul, give me a minute. I'll come right back to you on Tata Elxsi. But positionally, it looks good. That's the word coming in from Rahul. In the meantime, 0.3% low on the Nifty, 10,927. So it's a quiet opening. Range bound session is what we're gearing up for this Tuesday. Bank Nifty is also down 0.3%. And your broader markets are outperforming very slightly. They are still trading in negative territory, but the cut, of course, is not as large as it is on the index itself. In terms of the breadth of the market, it's not too bad either. Sectorally, most sectors are trading lower, barring consumer goods, which is probably the only space in positive territory, and the rest of the market is trading marginally lower. Pharma is not looking too bad. 1% high on pharma is what we have. You've also got the Wix that's actually jumping up again this morning, back to levels of 18.2 is what we have. Stock of the morning for the large cap space has got to be Sun Pharma. Second straight day running after a 17% fall last week. The counter reclaimed 400 rupees yesterday, was up about 3.5% and now up 4% in early minutes of trade. That's followed by Kotak Mahindra Bank. Numbers were in line with what the street was expecting. A re-rating could potentially be on the cards, and that's what's helping Kotak this morning. 1.5% higher on Kotak is what we have. Dr. Reddy's is up 0.5%. Some of your OMCs and paint companies are not doing too badly. BPCL, HPCL, IOC, Asian Paints are turning out to be your top gainers in trade. Gains are limited, so let's not forget that barring Sun Pharma and Kotak, most of the other big gainers in the Nifty are in the range of 0.5% to 1%. So there's no runaway rally on the street. The breadth is also not looking too good in early trade, but the Nifty itself is only down about 0.3%. On the sell side, the list is larger and a lot more extensive. So metals are looking weak, down over 1% on Hindalco. Indusin is down 1%. RIL is seeing some consolidation after such a sharp move over the last 2 days. The stock's up 8% in 2 days. This morning, though, seeing some profit taking, 1% low on that one. Infosys, Vedanta, M&M, Tata Steel, Bajaj Finance are making a list of top losers. Auto counters are also looking relatively soft. There'll be a whole bunch of earnings reaction because that's pretty much a talking point this morning. And if you want to come on that one, because Piyush, the most of the earnings are from the broader markets.
Absolutely, as you were just saying, bring HDFC AMC, that stock actually showing some mild positive uptick here. HDFC Life, again from the same group, is showing some good uptick. While we're talking about these are breaking stocks which are right there, making some strong moves here. So again, right, that's HDFC AMC, good results, good margin expansion, reaction is 2% up. From there again, let's go to Bagaria Industries. Numbers were actually looking decent enough, stable enough here. And from there, we'll again go to Coromandel International, Zensar Tech, and then Supreme Petchem, very weak set of numbers. Zensar again weak numbers, Coromandel weak numbers. So again, all of that reaction is going to come here. Coromandel again 4% down, Zensar 4% down. Bring Supreme Petchem also extremely weak inventory hit here. So in that again, stock is down 4%. And then bring from there, let's talk about L&T Finance. Good numbers, good sort of expansion here. And Prabhat Dairy definitely, again, we were talking about the pre-open markets here. 1700 crore acquisition in Prabhat Dairy here, and that's why the stock is up 17%. That's the breaking stock. Again, the number one breaking stock again today. A good sort of solid reaction, and slowly Quest Corp is now inching up the charts. The pre-open cues were telling there is going to be a good activity there. It's 5% up. Future Retail 4% up. Again, that's another breaking stock. Some good strong moves coming there. Sun Pharma Advanced Research, we already talked about. Those stocks are making good moves after some clarification coming from the company in terms of realignment of Aditya Medicines as a distribution realignment here. And that's why stocks making are actually some good moves. We talked about Radico Khaitan again with one of our guests. Again, that stock is making moves, 2% up here. And then you have Just Dial. Results actually were showing good uptick in terms of earnings, profits, and that's why the stock is up 2.5%. So again, good moves coming there. Two more stocks. Kotak Bank, long build up yesterday after the results, and the stock is up 2% again. So that's another move which is coming. And the last one, Philip Carbon Black, yesterday actually was showing some negativity, but today again is making some bounce back, 3% uptick coming to that stock. Time Technoplast, one of the topics again for this week from HDFC Securities. Again, that stock is again making 2% up, so 8% up in 2 sessions.
Just a couple of more to add to that list of earnings reaction. L&T, if I can just get that one up, L&T Finance is down 2.5%. Numbers were a disappointment. There is an open interest addition of about 2.5%, and the counter is getting punished in early minutes of trade on back of earnings that seem to have disappointed the street. Along with that, I've got a couple of more earnings to take a look at. HDFC AMC, I'm not sure if you mentioned that, Piyush, but just a quick earnings reaction, that one too. Zenza Technology is down 4.5%. Monitor Spart, if you can quickly get that one up on the screen, we'll get a sense of what the market is making of that one too. Coromandel numbers were weak. The stock is down 3%. Monitor Spart is somber. 0.8% cut is what we have. Supreme Petchem is the other one to pull up, and Copran. These are other smaller sort of names who've reported numbers. Numbers have been reported before markets closed. After markets closed out, Supreme Petchem is down 3.5% in trade. Copran profits have increased marginally. Revenues have also gone up marginally. It's a very small counter, but you're seeing a 2% move coming on that one. IDBI, if you can get that one up on the screen, like I said, it's seen days of underperformance and sell-off coming in. This morning is probably one of those I was about to say rare mornings that it's seeing a gap up, but weaker again in early trade is what we have on IDBI Bank. But Just Dial is probably one of the most active counters in early trade. 6% open interest addition from the word go, 3% higher almost on Just Dial. Rahul, very quick word on Just Dial. At this level, would you buy it for the day?
Yeah, it has been a highly volatile stock from the last couple of months. So definitely looking at the current setup, I feel that after the gap up opening and last 3 days have been under pressure. So we could see some sort of pullback from the current levels. But definitely after the gap up today, I will wait for some cool off. Maybe the ideal level to enter for intraday basis would be around 480. So one can buy around those levels. Upside target would be around 495, and one should place a stop loss below 471. So I would wait for some pullback on the downside, then buy. But definitely the momentum is positive in Just Dial.
Right, we have two themes which are running very strong on the screen. One is the Sun Pharma duo here, Spark and Sun Pharma. So almost now up 5% for Spark here, Sun Pharma 4% up. And second is the dairy theme, which again, as we've been telling you, 1700 crore acquisition for Bar Dairy, upper circuit. For our dairy again almost 2% up, about 3% up now. In fact, bring Umang Dairies also. Let's see again that Umang Dairies normally has very low volumes. So again, let's see again if the volumes actually are changing for Umang Dairies also. So that's again Prabhat Dairy. We'll go across to for actually taking more views from Dharmesh in terms of fundamental view here. So Dharmesh, let's talk about the dairy sector. I know it's on a sector wide, the market cap is small for the sector, but it's a large acquisition from a sort of cash market side. What's your comment? Almost 1700 crore acquisition on a valuation side. If there is any opportunity for the investors, or this looks like a sort of good rally to exit?
It's a good rally to exit. I think most of the upside has been done. And looking at the dairy business, the business did not perform phenomenally out of the box. So even like Prabhat Dairy was there, or Prague Milk Food was there. So the promise was that apart from the milk business which they have been doing, or the normal run-of-the-mill dairy business, it's like a high protein, whey protein kind of a thing, which is a byproduct of all the cheese which is being made. So that business will pick up in a big way. There you will have a very big traction, which did not materialize. So the good part of our dairy business is through the byproducts you can produce many other things which can be sold as an end product to the clients, I mean to the consumers. But none of these businesses have that operating leverage or the margins to expand. Already it's a price sensitive business, and the consumption is limited to a certain extent. You cannot, same person cannot consume more of a dairy product, and with this vegan and all these concepts coming into play, I do have my doubts in place about the pace of growth, which we did not see. So I think today's this acquisition from a different perspective. It's not to play the stock market, which the acquisition has been done for. So for them, for a giant like Lactalis, it makes sense to have a foray into the Indian market. But for investors, this should be used as an exit opportunity. Already these are small caps, and it's very difficult for them to become a mid cap or a large cap. Large cap is just not possible for them to be because of the environment and the climate in which India is. So the cattle feed and the produce will be low. And the other theme which you were talking about, just missed on that, Sapnil.
Right, Rudamurthy, two stocks for you, Sun Pharma and Reliance Industries. Sun Pharma, of course, is extending yesterday's rally. RIL's taken a break. Would you go long on either of those names today?
See, Sun Pharma for me is a dead cat bounce, and supports at 390 is very crucial. So definitely I will not short Sun Pharma. If I have to buy, I will buy Sun Pharma. But I am telling, I was heavily long on Reliance. We were in fact recommending our clients even before results. From levels closer to 1100 we were buying Reliance. But however, morning we have started doing our profit booking, expecting markets to be weak, and we are already short on Bank Nifty future, and Reliance we have exited long position. I will definitely not recommend long. Some amount of profit booking for short term is definitely warranted, but someone who wants to hold a large cap stock in his long term portfolio, Reliance is a must in his portfolio. But for short term trade, definitely some amount of profit booking can be seen in Reliance from current level. And for me, index is a clear sell at current level, both Bank Nifty as well as Nifty, with appropriate stop loss. On Bank Nifty future, we are keeping stop loss of 27,560, which is hardly 60 points away from current level, and looking at targets closer to 27,300, 200 to come within a day or two.
Right, so that's the word on the calls, but bring Kotak Bank quickly on the screen. 2% up, but most important, 6% addition the open interest, and that's on the long side. Follow-up trade, last 2 hours yesterday was a long build-up. Today again the first 20 minutes actually are long build-up. Almost 15 lakh shares being traded. That's all actually the recipe of a thumbs up coming to results here. So quick word, Rahul, on Kotak Bank, if you're liking the stock and if there is any trade which is still available.
Yeah, Piyush, if you see Kotak last 4 days, including today's day, has seen a rally from the levels of 1200 to 1289, which is the current market price. Definitely the momentum is positive. A stock in short to medium term stock has potential to test the levels of 1340. So short term traders, those who have bought already, can hold with the trailing stop loss of 1255 for a target of 1345 on the upside.
Right. Dharmesh, I think in the previous answer we asked you about Prabhat Dairy and Sun Pharma duo is what we wanted to view on. Fundamentally, what are you doing with Sun Pharma?
See, it has to be segregated into two parts. One is the business of the Sun Pharma, and the other is the issues surrounding Sun Pharma. So business of the Sun Pharma seems to be, having a bottom in place, and I think going forward there should be a traction with all the, products which they are supposed to be launched in the US market. So that side looks pretty safe, and with the current price correction, the valuation becomes compelling to be invested into. But the point here is the type of issues which has been surrounding Sun Pharma, and if tomorrow all of them comes to be hold their ground, I mean the allegations which are there, if they hold their ground, then it will become very difficult for corporate governance point of view. So that will keep overhang on the stock. And this is not one case. There are other cases as well, like there was one transaction of around 400 million given to some related party which was not disclosed. And so those issues will keep up coming. So I would suggest, we were, suggesting our investors and clients to buy Sun Pharma at higher levels. It has corrected pretty much below where we were recommending them. But here on, what we are suggesting is to hold, no fresh investment to be made. Let this all, dust settle down, and then we will take an informed decision based on what to do. No new investment from, fundamental side.
Scale is the other big mover this morning. Trident is up 4% odd. Quest Corp, we've talked about. Philip Carbon, Just Dial, Petronet, Parag Milk are some of the top gainers that we're seeing. Even Rice in the KRBL are doing too badly. Of course, it's not a runaway rally, but a 2 to 3% gain is what we have. Prabhat, Piyush, while there was that blip of profit taking, the stock is back up 16 to 17% right now. Along with that, you've got Sun Pharma Advance, it's up 5%. Technically, Jay, you want to come in on this one? Sun Pharma and Sun Pharma Advance, I mean, you'd imagine the rally to sort of start tapering off at this point. But none of that's happening just yet. Volumes are also looking extremely healthy. On Sun Pharma Advance, we go long right now?
See, if you look at the charts of Sun Pharma Advanced Research, it's been falling along with support and momentum. So I have my, suspicion that it's still not seen its final low, but that's not the case when it comes to Sun Pharma. That's the only reason why I prefer Sun Pharma over Sun Pharma Advanced Research. But if you look at even Sun Pharma, it's fallen from 680 to all the way to 370. That's nearly a 50% drop. So you're going to see a corrective move to this kind of decline. And if you look at the longer term charts of Sun Pharma, I would think that it's very close to a long term bottom. If 370 is not the bottom, I don't think it's going to drop much below 340. So from that potential, I think Sun Pharma is better than Sun Pharma Advanced Research.
Right, so that's the preference coming from the Sun Pharma duo. But now bring a retail sector on the screen. There is a trade which is happening today. That's a sector theme. That's a theme again which you should be watching out from a trading perspective. You have future retail, good volumes, 4% up. Now bring VMart. After that again, let's look at DMart also. Again, that's trend. Now again, VMart trading at days high. The volumes are too low. Again, that's not the one again you should be looking at. DMart again is another one. Volumes are good, almost 1% up. So across the board, retail stocks actually are inching higher. Textile is another theme. Now bring Trident here. That's a territorial exporter here. Again, that's Arvind again. The results also again were good from the sort of Trident group here. So that's Trident, 4% up, strong volumes. Now remember again, IOL Chemicals Port System, strong results. So again, that's the Trident group here. So again, 4% up. So you are seeing some good trade happening in this space. Future Lifestyle, bring another retail stock here. That stock is also again making some good moves, almost 1.5% up. And this stock was also actually seeing bullish accumulation yesterday's trade. Volumes are low again. So again, take cognizance of the volumes here. So out of all of that, Mr. Rudramurthy, is there anything which you're liking on the charts?
Yeah, Trident is one stock in this entire group which we definitely like. In fact, we have been recommending our clients to hold it in our investment portfolio, and also this stock was one of our Diwali picks. But at those times, the stock was somewhere closer to this range of 62 to 65. Even at current level for an investment portfolio of 1 to 2 year, it's a great buy even on valuation. So Trident is one stock we track there. So one can definitely even buy at current level, but not for trading purpose. Someone who wants to buy it for investment, that's a great stock. Just keeping a track on overall market, look at again Reliance, for example, making lows of the day. And I clearly told there is profit booking starting from today, and we were long for 150 rupees on Reliance, close to those lows to high. Movement for last 3-4 days was very good and very swift. But right now I am seeing clear signs of distribution. And similarly, Bank Nifty trading clearly below 27,550 in futures. Nifty also having broken that crucial level of 10,950 in future. For me, market is a sell on every rise. Stop loss is very much warranted, risk management warranted, but at least longs have to book their profit at current level.
Pharma is putting out a mixed trends. If you look at Wockhardt, Biocon, those are counters that are under pressure. The pharma index itself is looking good, largely because of Sun Pharma twins. DV's Natco Pharma are seeing some gains. There's no runaway rally, remember, on any of these counters, but the index itself is not looking bad. And those gains are attributed to pharma majors, the pharma twins, Sun and Spark. Along with that, DV's Lab and Natco. Rahul, you want to comment on these two names? Again, DV's also seen a one-way move recently from levels of 1540, 1545, it was trading at on Thursday. Straight one-way move, and now at 1507. I'd imagine it's a buy at these levels, is it?
Yeah, if you look at the charts and if you look at the components of the pharma sectors, those particular stocks have seen the rally, but Divi's Lab and Natco Pharma has not participated in the rally. It is into a consolidation mode. But at the lower levels, we have seen a support coming in the stock. So definitely from current levels, we could see a spike up in the stock in the short to medium term. So short-term traders can buy Divi's Lab at current levels with a stop loss below almost 1470 on the downside. Upside, there is a major resistance around 1551. So maybe from current levels, we could see a 50 rupee upside from in the Divi's Lab. And again, in Natco Pharma, the stock has been illiquid. So definitely it could move into a consolidation. But yes, definitely Divi's Lab could see a 50 rupees spike up from the current levels.
Well, that's the pharma word here. A couple of mid-cap pharma stocks are registering moves, but those actually are not very strong moves. But open interest addition, let's talk about what's buzzing right now. Page Industries, 19% addition in the open interest on the short side. Then you have Kotak, long side, 8% build up. From there again you have Hindustan Zinc, 2% fall in LME Zinc. And what actually we get is Hindustan Zinc, 6% addition open interest on the short side. So metal stocks again definitely are giving some theme here. Jay, coming to you, metal stocks, any short pick there, or again if you see a margin of safety for creating any fresh short position?
Yeah, I've been negative on SAIL and other metals names, but I think if you look at Hindalco, it's coming to an important support around 200 mark. I think you need to be a bit more. It's a bit late to sell these stocks. If I think they're going to make a higher bottom from a slightly longer term point of view. If you look at it from the August bounced and then the decline, there is a potential that some of these metal names are going to clock higher lows. So watch out for this. You might, if you have been negative like on some of the steel stock, like we've been pointing out a couple of weeks back, you might want to take partial profits at current levels and not create fresh shorts at current level. I'm not saying that it is bottoming, but I'm anticipating a bottom. In that anticipation, I'm taking partial profits.
Partial profits on back of some bottoming out is what we're expecting on Tata Steel. Well, just a couple of other stocks that we are seeing this morning. Just Style is your most active name, over 3% higher now is what we have. And Page Industries also on the downside is seeing some weakness, but there's a 20% open interest addition. Fresh shorts are being built into Page Industries. Rahul, would you short Page intraday?
Samina, if you look at the stock has been under pressure for a couple of days. So definitely at current levels I would not go short, but I will wait for some pullback. Maybe around in the range of 23,250. That would be the area I would be looking out for. But as of now, I will wait for the price pullback from the current levels.
Right, that's the word at present. Coming back to you, Jay, one question on the gas companies, and let's try and understand the screen here. IGL yesterday there was a long build up. Today there is a sort of dip coming. Is this dip a sort of opportunity buy? But Petronet LNG, where there is actually clearly long build up happening today, 2% addition, the open interest on the long side, long build up happening there. Volumes are 6 lakh shares. So again, you have the green tick on the volumes also. So the question here is, Jay, gas pipeline companies, are the charts looking good in terms of creating long position, and IGL, Petronet LNG, if there is anything which you like at present?
I definitely like IGL, Piyush, but whereas Petronet is a very choppy chart, and the gains that you're seeing here are not that encouraging, but I would wait for clarity to emerge on Petronet. But whereas IGL is concerned, I'm quite bullish out here, and I would wait for a cross of 295. Once that's crossed, I will add to my position, and At current levels, if you are already long, you want to place your stops at about 265, 266 and hold on to IGL in anticipation of break past 295.
Right, so those are all the calls and strategies coming from our guest, Rahul, Jay, Mr. Rudamurthy and Dharmesh. All of you again, thanks a lot for coming on the show and giving us all the strategies. Markets are still holding strong. In fact, there is a lower drift again which is coming. We are trading around on a spot basis 918, but that straight line tells you it's actually looking almost sideways here. It's a time for a short break, but stay tuned as we return back from the break. It will be about earnings season. L&T Finance MD and CEO Dinanath Dubhashi is going to join us with a fine print of the third quarter earnings along with TVS Motors third quarter numbers again, which are going to be set out today again. We are going to catch up with Avnish Chandra, the auto analyst at Central Broking, to understand what we should be expecting from about the company, but also about the two-wheeler maker and the sector as such for the quarter gone by.